Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to this virtual press conference. This is the press conference for the State Fair Diamond Classic and the Lone Star Diamond Classic coming to Frisco, Texas. I'm Eva Coleman with Texas Metro News. On behalf of our publisher, Cheryl Smith, we are excited to be the media partners for this event. Again, coming to Frisco, Texas, benefiting historically Black colleges and universities, also known as HBCUs. This event is being hosted by the Frisco RoughRiders, and we're going to start off this morning hearing from the president and general manager of the Frisco RoughRiders, Mr. Victor Rojas. Victor?
Eva, thank you so much, and it's an honor to be here with everyone. Thank you for having us, and on behalf of the Frisco RoughRiders, we are extremely thrilled to be a partner with BCSG 360 to be able to bring you incredible baseball and showcase in our beautiful ballpark here in Frisco, Texas. I had the honor, now about 12 years ago, back when I was at MLB Network, such as Southern and Grambling and Bethune-Cookman and the like. So I'm really honored and thrilled to be a part of this once again. And we're looking forward to having a fantastic event with 4 great programs on 2 different sets of dates, both being 3-game series. Our field will be ready, and we will be willing to assist everyone possible to make this program and this inaugural event a success going forward.
Thank you so much, Mr. Rojas. And as he mentioned, BCSG 360 is an organization that is committed to students being encouraged to attend and graduate from HBCUs. They have a platform of curriculum and instruction and education that is unmatched in the HBCU arena. We have Executive Director Prentice Hill with us, and he is the mastermind behind all of this. Prentice, let's hear from you.
Thank you, Eva. Good morning to everyone out there in the virtual world of Zoom. On behalf of the board of BCSG 360, I would like to express thanks to the Frisco RoughRiders organization owned by Greenberg Sports Group, the general manager, Victor Rojas, and the fine front office there. In addition, we would like to thank the city of Frisco, the Honorable Mayor Jeff Cheney, and I will be remiss if I did not mention the presidents of the participating universities, starting with Grambling State University, President Rick Gallant, President of Prairie View A&M University, President Ruth Simmons, Southern University, President Ray Belton, and last but definitely not least, President of University of Arkansas Pine Bluff, Dr. Lawrence B. Alexander. These events don't happen without collaboration amongst a group of stakeholders, and we could not be more overjoyed than initiating this event several months back with the RoughRiders front office administration that welcomed the idea of this event, and we have just been working quite diligently to make it happen. We had a couple of teams that were originally slated to participate in the Lone Star Diamond Classic, but we want to thank the willingness of the University of Arkansas Pine Bluff, Coach James, Southern University, Coach Crenshaw, stepping up to the plate and filling in the gap of the Lone Star Diamond Classic. So the event is slated for March 26th, 27th, and 28th. Each day will feature a doubleheader matchup. First in the Lone Star Diamond Classic, we have home team Prairie View A&M University, which will host Grambling State University. And in the Lone Star Diamond Classic, the home team is University of Arkansas Pine Bluff, which will host Southern University. Great matchups from the SWAC conference, born and raised in Birmingham, Alabama, so home to the SWAC conference office. And so we're very excited. We've been hosting SWAC baseball and Black college baseball since 2015. And so this is our 5th year anniversary, and what better way to celebrate than to have a SWAC, all SWAC event down in Frisco, Texas. We are very excited about welcoming the alumni. All 4 schools have great alumni representation in the DFW market. And so we're just excited about putting on a great event. As Mr. Rojas stated, they have opened up all of their resources to make this a great event, not only in its inaugural year, but our intentions and our plans are to make this an annual event and rival our competitors in our Power 5 programs that will be participating in the event in the Dr. Pepper Ballpark to show that HBCU baseball is well represented and well supported as well in the DFW market. But I would be remiss if I did not mention that at the core of these sporting events, BCSG 360 has a mission of connecting urban youth with historically Black colleges and universities. And so we're challenging ourselves to partner with many of the school districts in the DFW market. We're inviting close to 30 HBCU admission representatives and institutions to participate in a virtual HBCU admissions and scholarship fair. So we would like to get over, I would say, 1,000, 2,000 students admitted over the course of these events, as well as connect them with institutional resources that will allow them to cover the cost of their education. So we're planning on having great baseball, but more importantly, at the core of these events, our goal and objective is to get students admitted into college and connect them with the resources that they need in order to cover the cost of their education. And so in addition to these events, there will be other social and networking events, a job fair as well. So pretty much plan for participating and on every level come March 26th, 27th, and 28th. I'm pretty sure you won't be left wondering why we put this event together. It will be self-explanatory based upon the HBCU support of the participating schools, as well as the entire HBCU family and stakeholder community here in the DFW market. So with that being said, I'm not going to take up too much more of your time. I would love to turn the floor over to the coaches of the participating schools so they can give remarks on behalf of their institutions. So we'll start with Prairie View A&M. Next, we'll have Grambling State, and then we'll follow up with University of Arkansas Pine Bluff's coach, as well as Southern University's coach. So at this time, I welcome Coach Riggins of Prairie View A&M University.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Like you said, my name is Coach Riggins, going on my 6th year here. And I'd like to thank each and every one of you guys for allowing us to participate in this event. I'm looking forward to it and hope that we can continue this for years to come.
Thank you so much, Coach Riggins.
Thank you.
Coach Cooper.
Good morning, everyone. My name is James Cooper, head baseball coach at Grambling State University. This is my 12th year as head coach coming up, at Grambling State University. And we want to say, a big special thanks to all the parties involved, from the Frisco RoughRiders to the city of Frisco to Prentice Hill to reaching out to us. And also all of the people behind the scenes that, do not get mentioned up front, or faces that are not seen. We want to thank each and every one of you guys for, allowing us to be a part of this great situation that we think can help shine some light on HBCUs in a whole, not just athletics, but our university. And then also to help replenish what's been missing from Major League Baseball. And that's also the Black baseball player.
Thank you so much, Coach Cooper.
All right, next we will have Coach James, University of Arkansas Pine Bluff.
All right, I'm Coach Carlos James, head baseball coach, University of Arkansas Pine Bluff. We're very excited to be able to be a part of events such as this. Knowing that it's in the Dallas metropolitan area of Frisco, which is the area that we recruit in, and actually one of our student athletes is from that area. So it's good to get out and showcase our program along with the other fabulous HBCU programs on a bigger stage, so that we can kind of further get our message out. With this being Black History Month, I like to give kudos to your organization, Prentice, and also the Frisco RoughRiders organization for taking the lead on this and giving us an opportunity to play on the bigger stage as well. So hopefully we can bring a really good brand of baseball and have a viable option not only for our kids, but other kids of different ethnic backgrounds as well.
Thank you so much for that, Coach. Coach James, thank you.
Last but not least, we have Coach Crenshaw of Southern University.
Good morning, Coach Crenshaw here at Southern University. My first year as a head coach. I've been doing it for about 10 years, but I would like to say we're excited to be in this event, and thanks to everyone that's behind the scenes and in the front for putting this together for us.
Thank you so much, Coach Crenshaw, for that. This is going to be phenomenal, I think, with all of the teams that are matched up that will be playing in March in Frisco, Texas. We are going to open it up with questions. Please use the raise your hand feature that you see available in Zoom. It's going to be in the reactions section of your Zoom platform. There is a raise your hand feature. We will get to those names. And again, when you give your question, please state your name, tell us who you are affiliated with before asking your question. And I see a hand raised right now. We're going to go to you, Michael Coker, with your question.
Yes, this is Michael Coker with Black College Nines. My question is, hopefully this will lead to an HBCU national championship, which is badly needed for all our HBCU programs. Is this something down the pipeline that 360 is looking at?
Great question. Thank you, Michael, for that question. The answer is actually yes. For the last couple of years, we've been looking to put together a Division I championship event. In the process of doing that, there was definitely great interest in small HBCU championship event as well. As of right now, we are planning to host a championship event this season. Those details are still being worked out. Our actual regular season event schedule was cut short because of the pandemic, and the minor league and major league ballparks that we were looking to host several events have yet to release schedules, which doesn't allow us to finalize dates and finalize details with regards to such events. But we have a HBCU Division I championship event called the HBCU World Series. That is slated to be played in Chicago, Illinois. We have dates in mind, but we're just working with the other stakeholders as we work through the pandemic in order to finalize those details. So we look to have something here in the next 15 to 20 days. And as soon as we can finalize some dates with those stakeholders, we'll make that announcement.
Mr. Coker, thank you so much for your question. Speaking of pandemic, Prentice, could you please share what preparations are being made for an event such as this in the middle of a pandemic?
Great question. So our goal and objective when you're playing events such as this in a ballpark, like Dr. Pepper Ballpark, which has a capacity of 10,000 fans, with all of the amenities that you can ask for in a ballpark, audio, video. It even has a lazy river out in the outfield. So if you want to go take a swim, I guess, in whatever inning, you have that option. But when we're operating in a pandemic, the goal and objective is to maintain and ensure the health and safety of all participating people. So starting with the student athletes, we're working hand in hand with the coaches and their league office and the NCAA to make sure that we adhere to any and all protocols and policies and procedures as it relates to student athletes participating. As it relates to the capacity of the ballpark, we'll be targeting 25 to 30% capacity to ensure as individuals buy tickets that there is social distancing maintained. So you won't be able to just sit anywhere. When you purchase a ticket, that ticket layout of the ballpark is designed with social distancing in mind. And so we will make sure that we practice those protocols as well. And masks will be required until further notice. And so everyone participating in an event will have to maintain social distancing. as well as wear their mask as it relates to coming inside of the ballpark. And I actually seen firsthand events at Dr. Pepper Ballpark, as well as they hosted an event concert a few months back with about 4,000 fans. And that event went over well. And so we've been paying attention and making sure that we adhere to those policies and procedures so that we can ensure the health and safety of all participating parties. So this will be a safe event. Mask will be required. We'll make sure we'll put that information out on our marketing materials so that people know and understand that. But we look forward to hosting this event and making sure that it's safe and healthy for all participants.
Thank you for that, Prentice. Up next is Nui Scruggs. Nui.
Hi, everybody. My question is for the players and even the coaches here. What does it mean to play at a minor league facility in which it's the home, the AA affiliate of the Texas Rangers, and so many all-star players and major league players have played on that field? What's the excitement level and what does it mean to be able to go to a venue like that?
Good morning, everyone. I'm JC Bonilla from Grambling State. You know, it's a great opportunity to play in a minor league field and to promote the game and the exposure we get in from the HBCU side. And we get to play fast and we get to show our talents to everyone. And I think it's a great environment, especially with this pandemic, so fans can go and enjoy the game and socially distance themselves.
I'd like to piggyback off of what he said. My name is Xavier Jefferson, a fifth-year senior here at Prairie View. Basically just to get our talents out and have HBCU representation on the field of that magnitude is big because they kind of look down on us in a lot of aspects. You see us going in late rounds and you see not a lot of Black people in general. And so I think just having that exposure level is very, very, very beneficial to just everybody involved.
Okay, and that's Nui Scruggs with NBC5. We know who you are, Nui. We want to make sure everybody else know who you represent today and always. Okay, other questions for our esteemed members on this panel today? Mr. Rojas, President and GM, why don't you tell us more about, I guess, the RoughRiders' commitment to events of this magnitude or events like this that support HBCUs?
Well, I mean, this is my second week on the job on a full-time basis. It's my first foray back into the front office and running a front office in 20 years. I'm a retired Major League Baseball broadcaster, and a guy who grew up in the game of baseball with my dad, having come from Cuba and having had the chance to play 16 years in the big leagues. So baseball is near and dear to my heart. I grew up in it and I played it, and now I'm in on the executive side of things. So the opportunity to host events such as these and try to grow it, to me, that's the biggest thing. And I think it was Coach Cooper that said it in his opening remarks, talking about the dearth of African-American Black players in Major League Baseball. It's a sad state for baseball. And I think that's something that I believe that the RBI program for a long period of time has been trying to develop that in the inner cities, to try to grow the game in the inner cities as well. And I think the more events such as these that we can do, not just solely here in Frisco, but across the country, to continue to open doors and opportunities for African Americans throughout our communities to explore baseball and make it affordable as possible. I think those are events that need to be showcased and certainly put forth as much as possible. And anything that we can do to try to do that going forward is something that we will most certainly be interested in participating in.
Okay, Nui, you had an additional question?
Yes, for the coaches, what does this opportunity mean to come up to Dallas-Fort Worth in terms of trying to recruit players and show them your baseball teams?
Go ahead. Riggins here. Hello, somebody else going?
Yes, we hear you, Coach Riggins.
Okay. Dallas-Fort Worth is a big recruiting area in the state of Texas. From my standpoint, with us having these games there and able to showcase that we can play and we can play with anybody, I think that's a big positive for us. and for our universities and for our programs. So I'm looking forward to it. And hopefully that we'll be able to get some guys from the Dallas area to look at us and look at us strongly.
For us at Arkansas Pine Bluff, we've always recruited the Dallas metropolitan area of Little Elm, Frisco, Plano, just to name a few. So us being able to bring our kids back home, so to speak, and give them an opportunity to play in front of family and friends is a plus for us. And then it also enables us to be able to, with all our former players being in the area, coaching high schools around the area, that gets us some free recruiting, so to speak, where you have student athletes from different high schools come out and see the brand of baseball that we play and how we go about it is much in the same as the bigger schools. We're just on a little smaller scale right now, and we're trying to do something to change that with this tournament.
Okay, Coach Cooper, your hand is raised.
Yes, ma'am. First, I would like to touch on what Mr. Rojas mentioned. One of the things that, bothered me when I played professional baseball is when I was in the Houston Astros organization, we only had 7 Blacks in the entire organization. And that's from top to bottom. When you look at the big league roster back in 2005, we only had 1. That was Preston Wilson. In AAA, we had 1. That was Charlton Jimerson. And then you have 4 other minor leaguers that just kind of, mixed in. And whenever you're in a locker room, it's kind of hard to, be yourself if you don't have guys that look like you and that also guys that can relate to where you come from. I think inclusion needs to be talked about as well. And I think an event like this can help us not just, break down that great wall, but, it could help us lay a brick to, get another kid an opportunity to get seen, to possibly get drafted. And then also what Coach James just mentioned about being able to recruit the Dallas area. He's recruiting the Dallas area right now. If you look at that virtual background that he got, I see what you're doing right there, Carlos. I know that kid is from that Dallas area. You ain't slick. And then also, moving forward, it allows us to give our kids an opportunity to play in a professional ballpark. Some of our kids aren't going to get a chance to get drafted. They aren't going to get a chance to sign as a free agent. They will not get a chance to play independent league baseball. But with an event like this, they get a chance to play, at a professional ballpark, to be in a professional dugout, just to be in a professional setting. Some of the stadiums that we play in our conference, some of them have all the amenities that, that we need to get the job done. But, at a place like Frisco at Dr. Pepper Ballpark, who's accustomed to hosting, events like this, we appreciate the red carpet, and it's going to give our kids a chance to do something that they might not get a chance to do if they don't get drafted or get a chance to play professional baseball.
Thank you so much for that. That is so true. And speaking of players and playing in the major leagues, we have one of the best who's ever played the game on the line. And it's right in his backyard. Torrey Hunter, tell us what this is like, having an event like this in your city.
Man, I'm so excited. Victor Rojas, how you doing? I had a chance to work with Victor Rojas for over a decade. So he's a really good friend of mine. When he speaks about getting African Americans exposed to the game of baseball, I know his word is genuine, and I still love him. He's my brother. Carlos James is a best friend of mine. We grew up together in Pine Bluff, Arkansas, and we were able to do some great things in Pine Bluff to kind of get kids kind of involved into the game of baseball. It's our history. This is what we played. Before we played basketball, football, we had Negro League baseball. So it's something that's coded in our DNA. You look at all the top records, their top records are African Americans, and we play this game. And so when you got a chance to in the HBCU, and I've always been an advocate, even though I'm from Pine Bluff, I always appreciated Prairie View, I appreciated Southern and Grambling. It was just something that I knew it was always coded in us to love those schools, but hate those schools. And so I'm excited to see these teams come to Frisco, Texas, right in my backyard, knowing there's a lot of recruits out here that's out there waiting to be picked. And when they come see the brand of baseball that the HBCU play and all the talent that's out there and they might say raw talent, but it can be trained in professional baseball. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to be pushing this thing. I'm going to be there representing you guys. I'm so excited for you guys and all the people that's behind the scenes. We want to say thank you because this is rare. You know, I've never been a part of anything like this. So, you know, you just don't know. I'm so excited. And I understand what Coach was explaining. I was, you know, on the team. I was the only African-American on the team. You know, I felt like I couldn't communicate with people. I was in the minor leagues in Connecticut and Fort Myers and Indiana and different places. And I felt, you know, out of whack. And that's something that I've been working on for years in Major League Baseball is to try to recruit and get African Americans back into the game of baseball. And sometimes I got scrutinized for it, but you know, sometimes you have to do it. If it's easy, be scared of it. If it's hard, we're on the right track. So thank you guys.
Thank you so much. You know, you're our MVP always, Mr. Hunter. Coming to William McCary has a question. William.
Good morning, everyone. My name is William McCary, serving this year as president of the National Panhellenic Council North Dallas Suburbia chapter. And on behalf of the Divine Nine alumni chapters across all of North Dallas, which each and every one of us having our own mentorship programs for middle school and high school students, what is the format for that Thursday and Friday when it comes to recruiting both students and student athletes?
I'll take that question. Thanks so much for that question, William. So like I said, we are very excited about bringing so many HBCU admission representatives to the table. Because of the pandemic, we cannot interface in person, which, you know, the typical college fairs are designed to do. But because of the virtual platform that we have at our disposal to host such an event, not only will we get more HBCU admission representatives to participate, but more importantly, we'll be able to invite more students to participate. So that fair this year will look like, it will have kind of like two components to it. I would have a component for juniors and seniors that are looking to attend an HBCU to participate and start receiving admission opportunities as well as scholarship opportunities, as well as an opportunity for lower grades, 10th grade all the way down, to get information about HBCUs. So there'll be a different component and different format for them just to get some understanding of what HBCUs are about, kind of what their missions are, as well as how to go through that process and what they need to be doing in subsequent grades in order to prepare themselves to take advantage. Our goal and objective is really to connect students with the financial resources involved to cover the cost of education. You talk to any HBCU president and they would tell you retention studies show that students don't leave HBCUs because they can't cut it. They leave because they don't have the financial resources to cover the cost of education in large part. And so if we can help more students figure it out, you know, how to, you know, as they say, get the bag when it comes to scholarship dollars, that will help them. And upon graduating with little to no debt, becoming gainfully employed helps them get on a track of generational wealth building. And I was just sitting here smiling as Mr. Hunter was talking, because in my short time that I've known him and talked with him, he does a great job of using his career as a baseball player to help others grow and develop in entrepreneurship. And so a lot of these opportunities result from education. Individuals having the knowledge and understanding of a degree, and then utilizing that, whether it's for a company or for entrepreneurial endeavors. And so the event is designed to do just that, help young people understand how to go from, no matter what your income is, your background, parents, rich, middle class, poor, you can go to college. It's just about figuring out how to find that path that works best for your financial position. And so we also have a job fair that will be taking place to help soon-to-be graduates from HBCUs and recent graduates from HBCUs, as well as those that have been displaced in the pandemic. So we're utilizing the backdrop of this Black College Baseball event to really address needs that we know exist in the Black community. And so we're just proud to be partnered with organizations like the Frisco RoughRiders to help utilize a Black college baseball game, the participating HBCUs, and stakeholders like Torrey Hunter, that he's not just talking, he loves Black college baseball and support Black college baseball. I'm pretty sure Coach James can speak firsthand of how Mr. Hunter has supported the University of Arkansas Pine Bluff program. But it's a great opportunity to bring all the stakeholders together. But we're very excited about the opportunity to get thousands of students in the DFW market admitted to HBCUs, and even thousands more introduced to HBCUs, so that one day will make that decision.
Awesome. Thank you so much. It's so great to see the president of the Southern University Alumni Federation, Laquita Thomas, on the line. Your hand is raised. Go ahead with your question or comment.
Well, so yeah, it's actually a comment. And so good morning to everyone. I just wanted to make sure that I had an opportunity to greet everyone on behalf of the Southern University Alumni Federation and all of our amazing alums that are across the Dallas-Fort Worth area. I happen to live in Frisco. So, I'm like over the moon excited about this opportunity to have our team, our squad, and all of the HBCUs that will be represented here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. So I have to give a shout out to my coach, of course, Coach Crenshaw. I see you sitting there, and all of the love, of course, that's here. We do have our Dallas chapter president on, as well as our Fort Worth alumni president. And so I just want to make sure that everyone remembers that the alumni presence and will be here and how valuable that is, and what all we bring to the table representing that market. So I want to speak on behalf of all of my colleagues, if you will, in terms of national presidents that represented for Grambling, Prairie View, as well as Pine Bluff. And so we're excited to have you all, to be able to welcome you all here. Looking forward to engaging with everyone as we continue on over the planning over the next months. And just know that we're here for whatever that you need. The students, you guys will see us there, of course, with our respective masks on, but we're looking forward to welcome everyone to the area. So thank you all for choosing DFW. We're looking forward to many, many more opportunities of having HBCU presence here.
Thank you so much. We're going to go to Miss Valerie Hill next.
Hi, thank you, everyone. I'm Valerie Hill with Texas Metro News and through a dual partnership, the Dallas Morning News. And my question is addressing the legacy of HBCUs. There was a time, obviously, and we are just on the cusp of the passing of Hank Aaron, but there was a direct connect between historically Black colleges and Major League Baseball. And then there was a disconnect. And so it appears now that we're trying to reconnect. And I'd like to know if Mr. Rojas, and certainly I believe that the coaches will understand that, because they know that they were a pipeline at one point in time. And then at some point we became disconnected. So I'd like to hear Mr. Rojas's plans for making a direct connection between when these college athletes can more closely align with professional baseball, the coaches get more opportunities. We're talking about this a lot in national media. But what will that connection look like for coaches to have an opportunity to not just interview for jobs, but also to be represented in the front office, and then of course for athletes to play?
Ms. Hill, thank you. I mean, there's a lot to unpack, and I don't know that I can really fully answer your question in such a short amount of time, because I obviously have a lot of thoughts on it. There is no question there is a diversity issue in Major League Baseball in the front offices throughout Major League Baseball. We've already spoken about the dearth of Black players in baseball in general, and kids not wanting to play the sport, even at the Little League level. I think anything that we could do to try to change things and try to at least get back to at some point what Hank Aaron basically represented. He was the best ambassador baseball could have had, a true gentleman of the game, a man who grew up in the South and some of the things that he had to endure growing up in the South and even on his path as a minor league player onward. But it never let him face him, and he continued to speak positively about the game itself and trying to get those in his community to participate in the game. I think I think Tim Anderson of the Chicago White Sox has done some outreach programs. I think the more you can do with the established stars, giving back into their communities and having to grow it from that point forward, kind of like what Tori was talking about, I think that's where it needs to start. It's a sad state that we're in 2021 and we're talking about starting something over again that should have already been in place. And you mentioned about the coaching staffs and the like. Look, I could speak to it from my point of view as a Latino. My dad, for the longest time, got to a point with the Bud Selig rule where you had to interview at least one minority candidate for managerial jobs, where he finally said, don't bother me putting me on that list anymore, because now I feel like I'm just the token interviewee. And I think that opens a door. DeMarlo Hale, a longtime coach in Major League Baseball and a friend of mine who I think should be managing and should have been managing 5 to 10 years ago. He is also of the opinion that just sometimes there's a small window of opportunity, and if you don't get that opportunity, that door basically closes on you. Again, I could continue to go on and on about this, but if you look in the front offices, and again, going back to what Coach Cooper said in his opening remarks, when you look at it from the standpoint of as a child or a college student looking to do something, whether it's professional baseball in the front office, administrative, executive work, and you don't see what you see in the mirror looking back at you as something to strive for, more often than not, that individual feels like, well, then that maybe isn't for me. Maybe that's not the route that I should go because I don't see other folks like myself in those roles. That mindset has to change. Overall, it has to change, not just in sports, across the country, across the world. That mindset needs to completely change. And anything that I could do now as I'm no longer in front of a TV camera working in a broadcast booth, and I'm kind of unchained, if you will, and just being able to speak freely and not be worried about parsing my words. Trust me when I tell you, from a diversity standpoint, it is something that I really want to be a part of, not only here in Frisco in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, but in minor league baseball in general, which is now being overseen by Major League Baseball, and being able to talk with the folks at the commissioner's office about how we can get programs in place to really start a true pipeline of diversity in Major League Baseball once again. Maybe the beginning is just now happening. Ken Griffey Jr. joining the commissioner's office. Raul Ibanez is joining the front office. I know Denard Span just got named as a front office member with the Tampa Bay Rays, I believe today. It's starting to happen. It's sad that we're at this point, that we're just now seeing it happen, but you got to start somewhere. And if you could start now and be able to grow it exponentially, then I think that's something that we all need to be a part of and try to push forward. I'm sorry for the long-winded answer. Again, I can keep on going on it. It's something that's near and dear to my heart, and I want to make sure that anybody in Frisco with this inaugural event.
Thank you.
I think we may have lost Eva, so I'll jump right in. I think we have a hand up from Grambling State. Mr. Kalita, would you like to go?
Yes, sir. This is Coach Cooper. We're using our SID's iPad.
Okay.
See his name listed there. But just to piggyback off what Mr. Rojas said about changing the mindset, we have to change that perception first. And what kids see on TV is what they perceive to be true, and it could also shatter someone's drive on trying to becoming that baseball player that Mr. Rojas mentioned. And then also to kind of answer some questions that might bring some clarity to Ms. Hill, you know, there's a bunch of different factors that help create the decline of Blacks playing baseball. You know, when you look at how the AAU basketball thing just took off years ago, guys that were athletic enough, you know, that had those quick twitch muscles to play baseball chose to go the basketball route, as well as football with 7-on-7, you know, being prevalent nowadays. And when you consider how those sports are full scholarship sports and baseball is a partial scholarship sport, if you happen to have a parent or a kid that comes from, you know, a low income household, they're probably going to put all their eggs in their basket to, you know, pursue a sport that's going to allow them to get a full ride scholarship, which you cannot do in baseball, especially when you can have 35 players on a roster, only 27 can be on scholarship, and they're all partial scholarships for the most part. Another thing that Ms. Hill was mentioning about was Hank Aaron. You know, we play in Atlanta this year as well, and we're going to play at Cool-Ray Field. You know, it's a similar event like this and we're going to be playing against FAMU. And it kind of breaks our kids' heart. You know, they didn't know it, but you know, we were going to get a chance to meet Hank Aaron on that particular weekend, and it was sponsored by the Atlanta Braves. And when you look at when he played in the Negro Leagues and when Jackie Robinson played, you know, when you consider how Branch Rickey came in and offered Jackie Robinson, you know, to play, it took one of the best players away from, you know, the Negro Leagues. So when you look at how Jackie Robinson had a chance to play in Major League Baseball, eventually they started taking the best Black players out of the Negro Leagues, bringing them over. And that really caused the Negro Leagues to fold. And when you look at segregation, and this may be a little too deep, and it may be bone chilling for some people who's a little sensitive about it, but, you know, I would love to talk more about it. But, you know, at the HBCU level, man, segregation hurt us more than it did help us. And, you know, and I can say that because my Sunday school teacher is Wilbur Flanagan. He was the first guy to play both ways for Eddie Robinson, offense and defense. Now, you got to think about that. When he was in school at Grambling State University, it was segregated. So if you were Reggie Bush, you couldn't go to USC. If you were Leonard Fournette, you couldn't go to LSU. If you were Tyrann Mathieu, you couldn't go to LSU. If you were Vince Young, you couldn't go to the University of Texas. That's why you see all those big time names and those HBCU Hall of Famers, because the schools were segregated back then. So now you factor in that LSU, that Tyrann Mathieu, he's going to LSU now. He's not coming to the HBCU. And when you start to do that, you know, year in and year out, you know, athlete in and athlete out, eventually the money starts to follow that big time athlete. And that's why you see those kids, in most cases, tend to choose some of those schools. And that kind of helped create some of the downfall and the lack of HBCUs having that type of talent year in and year out, like they're accustomed to having back when schools were segregated.
Thank you so much for that. That was some great history too, that you were sharing. Coach Riggins, did you want to add?
Yes, ma'am. I played here in this conference at Texas Southern from 95 through 98. And when I was there, you know, a lot of us was getting drafted out of the conference. I mean, I can sit here and say maybe 10 to 15 every year. As the years passed, as the game grew, and I think in 98 when I got drafted, it started to change. The home run race, I think, with Sammy Sosa and Mark McGuire have changed how they viewed the game at that time. After that, you know, they wasn't looking for athletes anymore. They're looking for guys that can hit home runs. And so after the 98 year, the guys that started to get drafted out of this conference started to dwindle. I think I don't know what year that was, Coop, but I think the only player that got drafted out of the conference was your shortstop. I think that was 02, 03, maybe. Can you help me out with that? It was the shortstop Wolf, I think.
That was 2012.
2012. Okay.
Yeah.
And I think there's the way the game have gone to analytics, to where they're looking at more of a numbers, have also basically priced us out of the game as a conference, because we don't have the TrackMan, we don't have this the Rapsodo to get these type of numbers that these scouts and stuff are looking for. I even have scouts to tell me, hey, if you got somebody, call me, let me know. They don't even come out to even look. So, you know, as the game start to go into analytics, it basically just price us out all over again. You know, because me personally, I think we got guys that's in this conference that can play, and they can play at a high level. But if you don't have guys to come out and see them compete and play, it's tough for them.
Dave, I'd like to just piggyback on what Coach Riggins just said right there. And it's almost to the point of, if they're not going to come to you, we're going to take the game to them. That has to be the mentality. And it's events like these that will help do that. Again, this is just, you know, it's the inaugural season, right? And maybe we could have been doing this for the long term, but let's take the game to them. Let's force the issue. And I agree with you on the analytics side of things, because I think it's done a disservice to the front office makeup of how things have worked out from an administrative standpoint. Another thing I'd like to just add to what Coach Cooper said earlier, one of the gentlemen that has done just an unbelievable job in continuing to talk about the history of the game of baseball, especially the Negro Leagues, is Bob Kendrick, the president of the Negro League Hall of Fame in Kansas City. Bob's a friend of mine, and I grew up in Kansas City, and so that's near and dear to my heart. He is an incredible ambassador for the game of baseball, not just Negro League baseball. He's an incredible ambassador for the game of baseball. And it's unfortunate we all had to endure and still enduring the pandemic, because last year was the centennial anniversary of the Negro Leagues, and they're carrying it over into this year with the 101st anniversary. So anything that we can do to try to tie in Bob as from an ambassador standpoint, to continue to really push the issue and really force the issue upon scouts, baseball executives, the commissioner's office. I think we should try to be, as aggressive as possible. But it all starts with bringing games like these in marquee events. The game that Grambling State was going to play at FAMU sponsored by the Atlanta Braves. Those things are big and important. We just need to kind of grow it from that point forward.
Wow, go ahead.
If I could just piggyback on what Victor stated. Yeah, so BCSG 360, we definitely, and coaches would tell you, it's not easy doing these events. We've been doing them since 2015. But if you just look at what today is college football signing day. We didn't shy away from that. We are hosting a press conference on college football signing day, and we're going to take baseball to the stakeholders and say, hey, baseball in the spring of the year is definitely as important, as exciting as any other sport. And so because of that, we're going to leverage that to the hilt. We had planned 20 classics this spring, but due to COVID, we had to cut those back. So we're going to be rolling out more of these events next year and in the years to come. We're going to partner even greater with individuals like Torrey Hunter, minor league baseball, major league baseball. We're trying to take the information that is given to us by the coaches and players at our HBCUs, and we're going to try to create a better opportunity for them. So I challenge everybody that's in this stakeholder circle to come out and support this event. That's how you take the game to them. You have to show that you'll support Black college baseball and DFW by putting butts in seats, by showing your fan support, by wearing your colors, by showing that, hey, you believe in your program. And when players in the DFW market, which we know Texas, Florida, Arizona, California are talent rich of baseball players, when they see HBCU baseball, and as an organization, we're going to rebrand Black college baseball. It's not going to look like any other college baseball game. And so we took that page from minor league baseball, which is big on promotional activities and events to put butts in seats. So we're not sitting back and resting on our laurels. We're going to basically take information from the stakeholders, and each and every way, each and every day, we're going to get better at producing these events. So I challenge the alumni, the fans, to get your tickets. Stay tuned when those tickets go on sale, but you take the game to the decision makers in baseball by showing up to the game, supporting Black college baseball in a historic way. So we plan to make history come March 26th, 27th, and 28th by making sure that these games, based upon the limitations on capacity of the pandemic, that they're sold out each day. And they have no choice but to recognize that Prairie View A&M, Grambling State, Southern University, University of Arkansas Pine Bluff did that in Frisco, Texas.
Prentice, yeah, this has been an amazing, I think, journey, seeing how all of this came together and what it is. And we all see on this call that it's so much bigger than the game. So much bigger than the game, all of the history that has been shared. I would be remiss if I did not recognize another person on the call as well. Breon Dennis is on the line on the Zoom call. He is Vice President and the Community Development Executive Director for the RoughRiders Foundation. And so Breon, did you want to share something really quickly?
Hey, good morning, everyone. I did not anticipate being here, but I can tell you as a kid from Shreveport, Louisiana, it'll be great to have you in Frisco. I can say this, I've been Black for 43 years. I've been in baseball for 21 years. So everything you're talking about with the challenges that we have, the best I can say is show up and show out. When you show up and show out for your people, that's when they'll believe you. We can talk about the issues in Major League Baseball, but let's face it, until we believe in our own product, they won't believe in us. So as a guy that's been doing this, breaking barriers like Jackie Robinson, riding the bike in security, now Vice President, working alongside Victor Rojas. If I don't see you in March, I'm gonna call you out in April. So we look forward to seeing you at the Dr. Pepper Ballpark in Frisco, supporting these groups. And you know, don't ask me for a hookup, buy your ticket, because they got to keep me on the payroll. So appreciate the love, and thank y'all for supporting us. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Breon. Now we got coaches with hands raised. Did you guys have some final comments you wanted to share, Coach Riggins? I see your hand still raised, or?
No, I'm good. I just didn't.
Okay. All right, Coach Cooper, your hand still raised. Did you have a final comment?
Yes, ma'am. I wanted to add one last thing. And it's what the Boston Red Sox did. You know, we talk about, you know, the lack of Black representation, whether it was a player or a coach. You know, not only did they hire a Black, but they hired a Black woman. So I think that goes to, you talk about helping change the perception, Mr. Victor. I think that's off to a good start, you know, and I hope their intentions are pure. And I hope they have, you know, great intentions on using her and also helping her develop into, you know, that coach that she wants to become. And I think that's also, you know, a feather in the hat for them. And then also a hope for, you know, that next young Black lady that's watching baseball.
All right, thank you for that. We have another very, very well-known person in the sports arena who's also on, and he is actually president of the Black Sports Professionals of North Texas, Larry Lundy.
Eva, great to have you here. And, you know, going back, I think Breon just said it best, being our vice president. I think action speaks louder than words. We want to welcome Victor to the Metroplex and DFW and the schools. Having worked on the Bayou Classic, we need to talk sponsors, we need to talk fans, and we need to talk our youth. So anything we can do to support, that's what our mission is all about, is connect, advance, and bringing properties like this only support. So Eva, thank you for being the Oprah you are today and bringing us all together.
Thank you so much. And to our executive director, Prentice Hill, I'm going to send it back to you. And Victor Rojas, so great having the RoughRiders and as the host of this. And again, Texas Metro News is so honored to be the media partner, the official media partner. Our publisher, Cheryl Smith, is on as well. And Publisher Smith, did you want to say something?
I could say I'm just really excited. I love baseball. Coming from New Jersey, where we watched, some of you may be old enough to remember that there were television stations. We only had like maybe 3 or 4, but I spent all day Saturdays and Sundays watching the Mets, the Yankees. Didn't care for the Pirates as much as the Phillies, but of course, and I came up in an era when Cincinnati had that powerhouse team that had Joe Morgan and George Foster, some of those greats. And yes, they also had Pete Rose, who should be in the Hall of Fame, but that's another show. But I'm really excited about this. And HBCU, we've heard a lot. These are conversations we need to be having. And we need people involved, find something for them to do. And this is a great opportunity. Mr. Rojas, welcome to the area. And we look forward to working with all of you to make this a success in future endeavors as well.
Thank you so much. I love my publisher. Princess, final words from you before we wrap this thing up today.
Thank you. Be remiss if I did not thank a couple of our sponsors, Tender Smokehouse Barbecue and Urban Hydration Skin Products. Very excited about the energy that has been on display this morning in this virtual press conference. Everyone that is present and had an opportunity to participate, we have a lot of meetings. I just want to share that we're thankful for the opportunity to bring this event to the DFW market, but we just want to make one thing clear. The Lone Star Diamond Classic and State Fair Diamond Classic belongs to the DFW market. It is designed for this community to benefit in each and every way possible. So that being said, everyone that is on this virtual call, please understand that you have a role to play because you have ownership in this event. And our success is predicated upon us collaborating and working together. So on behalf of my board with BCSG 360, we want to thank everyone for participating in today's conference call. And we look forward to meeting with you in the very near future and planning how we can make this inaugural event a great success. Thank you so much, everyone.
It's been a power hour. Let's hit it out of the park, everybody. Have a great day.
Thank you. Y'all stay safe.